So hello and welcome to the channel. Coming up in today's video, we'll be taking a look at my fastest lap during the community event. We'll also be taking a look at the setup as per usual. I'll take a little drive around the circuit showing you a few points where to go into certain corners, and I'll also be showing you a few of my outtakes and finally the replay. So let's get started. So I'll just let you enjoy the lap and see how it all progresses, and then we'll get into the setup. So let's take a look at the setup. So the tyres, we're going to be using the alternatives, running a slightly softer rear end, and the brake pressure is going to be something that you're going to choose yourself really. The brake balance, try and get this car to rotate a little bit, and obviously the rear, not putting too much on the rear, just to get that turning response from the front end. Lots of camber on the front of the car and not so much at the rear. Running as low as I can possibly run it, 18 on the front. I won't want to run it much slower than that, and the steering ratio set this low just so we can get around that really tight hairpin at the end, and the anti-roll bars to try and reduce some of the front end understeer mid-corner. The dampers, I've not really done anything with the dampers from a previous setup, and the engine brake, and we're trying to get that car stopped super quickly. You'll have to have a look through the gear ratios. I've adjusted these just to aid acceleration and for certain corners. But trying to keep this really quick, this one. And obviously if the power amp, I'd set this around the 70 for me, but if you can handle the modulation in the accelerator, you can set it a little bit lower. That's for the setup. So moving on to a drive around the circuit. And I'll just point out where I'm going to be hitting the curves button. You're going to be hitting it probably about 4 times, I think. So first punch is just around here. I know it's before we're starting the lap and it's before we're starting the corner, but it works out best throughout the rest of the lap. So boosting curves all the way down the start-finish straight, and just sort of staying in the middle of the circuit, avoiding a nasty little bump just around here somewhere, just keeping the middle of the circuit really. And we're going to sort of come across, avoid the bump as you exit the pit, and braking just around the 400 yard board, and just sort of progressively braking. Going to take another push on the curves button just as we enter this section here, heavy on the brake, turning and keeping on the accelerator as well. Nice little dab of the brake to get the car to turn, and then on the power, and then where the tarmac turns colour, braking again just there, and then hard on the power coming out of here. As you can see, the curves is still boosting nicely, braking just after the 300 yard board, and then we're going to be ready to boost that curves button once again, steady on the power, and then braking at a 200 yard board, take it nice and neatly through there, and as you can see we've got the curves boosting still, and it'll keep us boosting all the way up to the end of this straight. Now just as we're coming up to the 300 yard board, we're going to be braking hard, turning the car in, and then getting back on the power again, a little drop down into first gear as we come around this corner, so we've got the curves ready to boost again, out of this start finish straight, and then pushing the button and power into the line. Quite a simple lap, but still very technical. Enjoy. As you can see, I'm currently topping the leaderboard on Xbox One, closely contested by a lot of the guys at First Point Racing, who I'm sure will be chomping at the bit to better their times. And as I promised, here's just a few outtakes from just showing the fact that I am only human and I do make errors, just running a little bit too wide, taking too much curb through that section, and then here just running out too wide really. Everything starts to get a little bit too twisty. Coming into the final corner, just again, back end starts sliding all over the place. Coming in through this chicane bit section again, and I already know I've outbraked myself too much. Took too much curb coming through the first section, hit the wall. Coming out through the next section, hit the wall again, and you just start to think, that's just not going to end pretty. And again here, just take too much curb, and then the back end's destroyed. Last but not least, for the replay fans, here's the full replay. If you like what you've seen, like and subscribe, and until next time, ciao for now.